project. And if you'll look up there, you can see that big pine, another smaller pine beside it. Ditch starts there, drainage ditch. There's a community water line runs right by those trees. And the thought is that they've probably got a leak in their water line. But this whole ditch down through here, up until somewhere in here, I think it is holding water. It's wet. All the whole length is wet. Try to get a skim out of here and get some of these bushes out of the way and see what we're doing before we get too carried away about digging. Out of that. Get up here on the hill, I was getting bogged down there in the back. It was starting to sink and up the frame pretty good. There's a harder bottom down here, but it's not hard enough to be running on really. So I just set up here and I'm trying to get over here and just kind of follow the contour down, get the grass and get the mud off like that. I can kind of keep a tooth in view where I can follow the same profile, not just digging a hole. Alright, so that's what we've been mostly getting out of here is old grass and roots and some mud. I don't know what kind of grass that is. Two different kinds. That looks like the size of a pencil, and that other's got flat blades on it. But made it this far, I don't know. That's probably about 400 feet or so. And there's 8 foot, a little over 8 foot of drop between the road up there and the end. So I'm gonna say we're gonna have about 900 feet. 900 feet, so about 1% basically. Not quite 1%. the water line. Run right beside those two pines up there to where my probe is. It's wet over there to the left of that probe. I'm just wondering if the leak's not on that side, maybe. The ground sure is wet, and we hadn't had any rain in several weeks, and it shouldn't be this much water. Alright, I came down this side of the ditch here. Hey, good morning. We're going to go out here and check our drainage ditch. Sun's coming up. See if we got any water left to drain. See if there's any water in our test hole. A lot of water sitting in the ditch here and there, which I figured that. Oh, but I see it still running there. Uh-huh. Yep, it's still running, so it's still being fed somewhere. The water's still moving. Yeah. That should have all been drained down by this morning. So somewhere water's feeding in back here. Huh. Alright, so the verdict is on the water. We don't know. We don't know. So he can do one or two things. He can go take a water sample, or he can do two things and see if it's coming out of the well or coming out of a spring, and pump this area in front of the culvert that's low. We'll go pump it dry, or he will, and then see where the water's coming in. He's got to go get a pump and all that. I don't have one. Anyway, verdict's still out. I'm gonna take down these line of little trees. I may see if I can get those rotten ones to come over without causing too much of a problem, and then go spread some dirt. Man came back with his little kit, and it turned it like a purplish looking color, or I don't know, orangey, purplish, something. Anyway, he tested the water and it was clear, so that means it's a spring head. So water table has come up at my house, so I guess apparently it's come up over here too. So I'm gonna get this stump up, go around there and cover the hole, and I'm gonna try to get them two little pines close to the water line so they won't grow up and be big pines close to the water line. And then I've got the dirt down there to go spread. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to get on the other side and get this stump up. I think that root holding me right in here. Salamander. don't see that line moving, but rain tomorrow, or thunderstorm, 80% chance of thunderstorm. About the same flow down here as we do coming out in front of the culvert up there. So it's got lumps and ruts and everything else in it. As soon as it gets a good heavy rain through here, which we may get tomorrow, then I believe it'll clean itself out. I'm gonna finish this drain and get something to eat, and then we're going to go spread some dirt. See all them yellow jackets? They got up in here a while ago. There's one right there. I had the door open. That must have been one that was in here previously. Anyway, I'm extracting my revenge because they got me a couple of times. morning I'm digging out a ditch up here below the house. All that tall grass you see there is blocking the water. It's got a good fall coming down the hill, but it gets down here to the bottom and it kind of wants to fan out a little. And that grass is holding the water back so it stays soft right here in this bottom. So I'm gonna strip off the topsoil, basically, grass and topsoil, probably about 20 feet across here, and just make a funnel back up toward the hill. One more bucket width at the bottom, and I'm gonna narrow it up. See a little gravel there. I'm gonna finish this little bit up here, scrape off a little more of this grass. I'm gonna run back over with the bucket, maybe run down it with a blade, get a little bit more off, and we'll be done with this and move over to the dirt pile. Alright, we got that finished good enough. We're going over here to that little brush pile where you see the summer sticker sticking up. Going to spread it, and then there's a large dirt pile on the other side of the ditch that we cleaned out. Got it spread. So, get track over here and get started. This time, before I dig in this dirt pile, it may be like the other one. It may have a yellow jacket nest, so I'm going to put my window down, close the door, and see what we got. I don't want to repeat it yesterday. We got all bitter weeds in here. Or not bitter weeds, dog fennel, or summer cedar, some people call it. If it really starts raining, I gotta go get my truck, or I'll be stuck right where I'm sitting. down that edge right there and knock that little berm down. I don't want it holding water. Go yellow jackets. Go yellow jackets. We got through here, except for the big pile. I'm gonna be back over here with the dozer later on, a few weeks, and I'll get that piled in. Water level has dropped some. It was about 3 or 4 inches on the bottom of the culvert. This dropped probably 6 inches back here, but it's steadily flowing. A little trickle. But that little trickle, pretty good water leak. But we got the ditch dug, or cleaned out rather, all the way down. Have to wait and come back and get these piles when it dries up. And I'll probably come back with a dozer, kind of straighten up some of that mess when I can. But mostly it's just patches of grass and old bark and stuff, and everything. No big deal. He's got a big 100-horse tractor. He can, with a grapple, he can grab it. Let some of this settle down, and I can smooth it out with a dozer later. That up here is real wet. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. It needs to dry some. Maybe since this ditch is open, it'll let it dry, and then put a little dirt in it maybe, or disc it. But that's the job. Water steadily running.